Hi, all, and welcome back to my channel, Home and Beyond. Today, we're expecting some guests for dinner, so I thought of making my favorite Lauki Kofta curry. For that, I often refer to this book. This book was gifted to me by one of my student way back in, let's say, 2007 or something like that. Like student in the sense that I used to be owning a girls' hostel, so I used to have most of the IHM students staying with me. So one of the outgoing student gifted me this book, and since then I've been following this recipe, and I really find it very simple and easy. So I often refer to this book, even though I literally know the recipe by heart now. But I thought this is something I wanted to share with you. Yes, let's get started. First of all, I'm just going to cut out half of the lauki. And in Assam, we call it pani lao. And in Mizo, it's known as ei. So just peel off the lauki properly. There's a very nice Bengali dish with the peels of the lauki. I'll soon try to share that recipe with you as well. For now, I'm just going to grate the lauki. I'm done with the grating. Now just squeeze out all the water from the lauki. Squeeze it out properly. And don't throw away the juice of this lauki. We'll need it later for the recipe. Okay, that's done. I'm keeping this aside. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, here I'm adding finely chopped ginger, few green chillies finely chopped, onions finely chopped. All the measurements will be in the description box below. And I'll also be using a little bit of finely chopped coriander leaves. Well, now to bind the kofta properly, I'm using some gram flour here. That's besan. Just add about 4 to 5 tablespoons, or like once you get mixing it, you'll know the consistency. Anyway, the measurements are given. I've added some salt. Do check out the description box for the proper measurements for this recipe. And just make them into small balls like this. Okay, you can bind it enough, so that's done. I've oiled my hand a little bit so that the mixture doesn't stick to my hands, and keep making the small balls. There's a slight problem with my mixture. I think I didn't squeeze the water enough. So ensure that you squeeze it nice and proper, because these koftas are getting too soft and I'm finding it a little difficult to make the balls. There you are. Once you make all the koftas, then heat the oil properly and then bring it down to low flame. And while on low flame, put in all your koftas and fry them over low medium heat. Don't fry the koftas on high flame because they'll get burnt in the outer side, and inside it would remain to be, uncooked. Okay, these are done. I'm removing them on an absorbent paper, and I'll continue frying the rest of the koftas. Okay, I'm done with the frying. The koftas are ready. I'm heating the wok to prepare the gravy. Onions, tomatoes, some finely chopped coriander leaves here. And this book is really important for me. I'll share more about this book towards the end of the video. Stay tuned. And some spices here. Again, I've mentioned all the spices in the description box below. You can check it out. What's not in the recipe is adding the cardamom. I've added 4 cardamoms. And after frying it for some time, after getting the flavor, I added the finely chopped onions. You can skip adding the cardamoms if you don't want. Okay, fry the onions till they turn to be golden brown. You can see they're already translucent. To that, I'm adding the mixed spices. In the spice, we have some red chili powder, jeera powder, dhania powder, and also garam masala. Okay, you just keep frying the masala till the oil separates out from the masalas. I'm adding a little water to this because I always like frying the spices a little extra. Okay, you can see that the spices are getting cooked properly. I'm just trying to refer and brush up my memory a bit because it's been very long since I last made this recipe. Going good. As you can see, the water has dried up and we want a thick gravy. So since I didn't, make a paste of the onions, that's why I had to cook it properly. I've added some finely chopped tomatoes, salt, just mix it up properly. And to this now I'll be adding the juice of the Lauki, you know, which I had kept aside. Just add this all. I'll add a little bit water to that as well. And let's cook the tomatoes properly. We need a thick gravy. For that, the tomatoes need to cook properly. After about 3 to 4 minutes, you can see the tomatoes have dried. Again, I'm going off the recipe. I've added a little bit of kasuri methi, which is not mentioned in this book. You can totally skip this. I personally love the flavor of this kasuri methi so much that I couldn't stop myself from adding that. Okay, so now we've added some water and let this cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. Okay, that has been cooking for the past 4 to 5 minutes and the tomatoes are also well cooked now. I'm going to add the fried koftas. Gently drop them into this gravy because you don't want to break it. And I'll be cooking this again over medium heat for the next 4 to 5 minutes. We've already fried the koftas. They're cooked, but to ensure that they're really cooked properly from inside and so that it absorbs the gravy properly, it's really important to cook it while in the gravy, at least for another 4 to 5 minutes. And this looks yummy and it's done. Take a closer look. Mm. I'm turning off the gas. Add some finely chopped coriander leaves. You can give some cream topping on this as well. I'm avoiding that. And it's not mentioned in the recipe. That's totally your choice. And I used to add cream at times and it really tastes good. So we are done with our kofta curry. How did you find my recipe? Please do let me know in the comment section below. And regarding this book, it has a lot of information, food fundamentals about the aims and objectives of cooking food, cooking materials, textures, methods, many things, basic principles of cooking, preservation of foods, many, many things. I really like to, go through this and brush up properly. There's no end to learning and no end to, referring from a good book like this. Names of ingredients in several languages, Indian cookery, Western cookery, it really helps me a lot. So that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. I'll see you all soon in my next video. Until then, do take very good care of yourself. Bye.